Let's look at some of my favorite features of the Yaesu FTM500. Stick around and we'll get right to it. After my recent video came out with all of the things I dislike about the FTM500, many of you might have assumed that I just completely disliked this radio, but that is absolutely not the case. There are several great things that Yaesu has built into the new FTM500 that I really like. So let's go ahead and head over to the radio and take a look at some of those new features. Up first is the front-firing speaker on the head of this radio. Now this is in addition to the speaker that's included in the body of the radio, and this is really critical for people like myself that will mount the body under the seat inside a vehicle and then just mount the head up front. That makes this very valuable because I don't have to include another external speaker like I've had to do with the FTM400. Now, one little quirk about this, and this is pointed out in the manual, but it bit me when I first got started. Let's go into the long menu, and we're going to come down to item 18, the audio equalizer, and we're going to go ahead and turn that on. This allows you to adjust the audio for both the front-firing speaker and the speaker that's in the main body. However, if you turn this on, let me get all the way back out to the radio. If you turn this on, it locks the volume for the main band and the sub band. So I'm just going to turn the volume up for the main band. Whoop, didn't mean to bump the squelch. And you'll notice that the volume on the sub band is following the one on the top. So just one of those little quirks to be aware of. It took me a little bit reading through the manual to figure out why my volumes were locked together. If you just go into item number 18 again, and we'll turn that off, now you'll have independent volume control where I can turn the main band up as loud as I want, and it never affects the volume on the sub band. Second up on the list is the ability to plug the microphone directly into the head. So we can plug it into the head here, or we can plug it into the main body, whichever way suits your particular installation best. This may seem like a small thing, but it reduces at least one cable. If you're separating the head from the body, it's one less cable that you've got to run from the body to the head during the installation. Number 3 on the list is this new custom menu. This is actually one of my favorite features on the FTM500 because it gives me access to those menu items that I'm going to use the most. And you'll see that I've already customized mine for my particular setup. Let's show you how to do that real quick because this is a great feature of this radio. We'll start with the top right knob, and I'm just going to go ahead and long press on that. That's going to take us into the deep menu. Now we can just pick what we want to have a shortcut to, and again we're going to long press on that top right knob. It'll bring us back to this custom menu here, and we can use the top right knob to move to where we want that new shortcut located. In this case, I'm going to overwrite my station list right here with the equalizer. Let's go ahead and short press the top right knob again, and that will lock that into that particular slot in your quick menu. So now anytime you want to access that quick menu, you can simply short press the top right knob, and you get access to all of those things that you have in your quick menu. This, again, is one of my favorite features because it is super helpful. Another one of my favorite functions on the FTM500 is the PMG, or the primary memory group. This is really helpful because it allows you to monitor up to 5 different frequencies and gives you a visual indicator of activity on each of those frequencies. To use it, now I don't have anything set up in mind right now, so if I just push the PMG button, you're going to hear that beep. That indicates I don't have anything written to PMG yet. To write it to PMG, it's pretty simple. Come to the frequency that you want to use. This can be done with memory banks or with VFO frequencies. So you can plug basically anything you want into the PMG. So let's go ahead and put a couple of those things in there. I'm on the frequency that I want to use. I'm going to press and hold the PMG button. You'll get an indication that it did write that to memory. Now, if I short press the PMG button, it goes over and you'll see that one frequency stored in PMG. I'm going to short press this again to get back out of it. Next, let's go ahead and move over to the VFO mode, and let's assume that you wanted, say, a weather frequency. One of the weather frequencies in my area is 162.550. Once you had that plugged in, you could then go ahead and press and hold the PMG button again, and it will write that directly into that PMG group. Now let's go ahead and do one more, so I'll just put 146.520, and we could go ahead and write that by pressing on the PMG button. Now notice that I do still have a tone running on this. I know I had it running on the weather station as well. Because I've got it set up in my custom menu, I can do a short press here. I can come up to where the squelch is, tap on that, or tap on the top right button, and go ahead and turn that off. And press the back button, and you'll notice that that tone is no longer with the 146.52 frequency. So now I can long press the PMG button, and it will write that memory to the PMG group again. Now I'm going to short press the PMG button this time to go ahead and move into it, and you'll see that we've got 146.52 right there under the P3 slot. We've got that weather frequency under the P2, and we've got that repeater that I programmed in first under the P1 slot. If you want to get rid of one of these frequencies, say you didn't want the weather in there, you can just select it right here in the main menu, or in the main screen rather, and then press and hold the back button. And that will go ahead and remove that frequency from the PMG group. Next up on the list is actually the microphone. My favorite feature of this new mic is the mute button. That is a great addition to the FTM500. Let's say you're traveling down the road, you're listening to one or two different bands on the radio, and you need to take a phone call. It's super convenient to simply press the mute button here and mute everything on the radio. You also get a nice notification on the screen that the radio has been muted. To undo that, you simply press the mute button again, and you're right back to talking on the radio. Well, there you have it, guys. That's some of my favorite features on the FTM500. If you found today's information helpful, be sure to give us a thumbs up before you head off. We will see you guys on the next one. Until then, 7-3.